You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Ernie podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 34. Today is December 29, 2020, about 5:30 in the afternoon. I normally don't do a podcast during the week, but since I'm home restricted from going to work, I said, why the fuck not? Today on the podcast, I have my buddy Ernie, who I met back in the Todd Road days. We're doing the call through like a video chat through Facebook. This is the first time I'm doing that. Is that a cowboy jersey you're wearing there, buddy?
Damn right. What's up, people?
That's freaking. How you been liking this last 3 games in a row, man?
Better than the 3 before that.
Well, the boys said that they figured out the system. They figured out. They said that if I don't watch the game, the Cowboys will win.
I feel the same way.
So
every time I watch them, I feel like I curse them when they lose.
So the last 3 games I have not watched, and they've won. And then the boys said, "I'm like, well, why can't I watch them?" And they said, because when you're yelling at the TV, you're stressing them out. Like. They can't even hear me. How can I stress them out?
If anything, we're returning the favor because being Cowboys fans, they sure stress us out.
Right? So we're called. Yeah, you're right. Even Steven then. Anyways, but no, yes, I ended up having to go get tested today for COVID because
Me too.
You know, some family gatherings. I'm not going to go into a tantrum or I'm not going to go into a rant because one of the persons that listens to the podcast. You know I'm talking about him, so.
Hijo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. No, it's just obviously,
Okay.
I trust certain people to come around the family because they get tested on a regular basis, and in this case, they ended up getting COVID. So now since I was around, since the wife and kids were around this individual, then they came home and possibly gave it to me. So. Woke up with a scratchy throat, runny nose, headache. So now I have a 5-day weekend.
Well, did you thank him at least for that part of it, the 5-day weekend?
That's a positive part I get. No, dude, I can't.
Right?
I hate missing work, bro. I would rather miss work because I'm actually sick, not because there's a possibility I got COVID. Like I told my boss earlier, I'd rather miss work because my leg fell off instead of freaking COVID.
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, we're in the same boat because, like, I haven't mentioned it before, but my son, 9-month-old, he was born March 13th, Friday, and I've been nothing but careful to keep myself away from all of it. And over Christmas holiday, I was also exposed, so I was just as pissed. I don't have to work like you, so it's not as bad for me, but it's just it really frustrates you to know that you were so careful and that at the hands of somebody else, you end up getting exposed.
Yeah.
And that just, it sucks. But December 29th, the next 2 days can't pass fast enough to get to freaking 2021, and we'll see what that year has for us.
Right. No, yeah, like I said, dude, I'd rather go to work. I'd rather be at work, dude. I'd rather miss work because I'm on vacation, not because I'm forced to stay home. And then, when the text message came through, hey, I'm positive. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, dude, instantly my stomach started to turn. I've been very cautious, dude. So even during summer, my boss is like, why are you wearing a long sleeve shirt? It's fucking hot out here. Well, I don't want to get sick. So
I mean, smart thinking. But when you were exposed, I mean, for me personally, I don't know about you, I faulted myself instead of looking around at what they did wrong. It was more like, I should have known better. I've been careful. I think I got a little bit relaxed, and it's the stress ain't worth it to get a little bit relaxed.
Well, that's what we're doing a podcast over the phone because even you've neglected. You've been like, nah, I'm not gonna come down, Andy. We had to wait, and so we're like, okay, well now we got to do it over the phone.
Yeah, socially distanced. At least it wasn't a collect call. I mean, things could have been worse.
Oh, we'll get into that then.
I could have still been at that resort.
We'll talk about that right now. But anyways, real quick, I'm liking this video thing. Are you taking a shit, dude?
No, I'm chilling on the toilet though.
Yeah, it looks
it's my getaway spot, dog. I gotta tell my kids. I told them I have COVID, and they still don't leave me alone. So I come to the restroom.
Yeah, it looks like you're taking a shit. Anyways, so back to the collect call. Ernie, I met back in '06, around the same time I met my buddy Roger. We all met together. Roger and Ernie were actually bunkies, which meaning they shared a cell. And the stupid shit that came out of their cell on a daily basis was hilarious.
I mean, I should have figured that there was a piece of his brain missing when he had that big ass Colt scar on the side of his head.
He hides it with hair now.
I thought he was was he a comb over, or did he make it apart?
No, he hides it with hair now.
Oh man, I can't do the hair thing. But now Roger was I mean, you take me back, Andy, when you go back there, because for you it was a different time. Obviously, for Roger it was a different time. For me, it was a different time. But I have to go back in the archives and kind of like think of the craziness that was going on at that time, because when I came out of that program, I was in a medical program where I didn't really see anybody, no contact, no commissary because of my diabetes. Once I met Roger, it was on and popping. That guy had hoses coming out of his ears.
Dude, I remember you guys showed me how to freaking make a fishing line out of your bed sheets.
Oh yeah,
Officer Ricky, you didn't hear shit. Officer Ricky, you didn't hear shit. So he would freaking tell me, Andy, you hungry? I'm like, I mean, I could eat. Fuck it, why not? It's 9 o'clock at night. The last time I ate was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, it's like you see freaking food come under the door and hook to a freaking bed sheet. I was like, holy shit.
You look at your front door and you see a freaking the county jail DoorDash going by.
I remember the mornings, because back then I didn't drink coffee. So you guys already all knew I wasn't gonna drink the coffee. So freaking little baggies of coffee would come under my door for me to slip the coffee into the bag.
Yep. Not even a hey, good morning, and just a bag goes under your door.
Like, all right. Well, it doesn't have anyone's name, so I guess they'll fight for it.
I think I even got in on your coffee in the morning. I was like, yeah, I think I got it for like a week.
Yeah, I never. Like I said, back in the day, I didn't drink coffee, and the SOS was garbage.
It's because you were spoiled.
I think my last day there, I was like, you know what? I cannot leave jail without trying this SOS. And what it is it looks like what? It looks like ground beef, like a mushy ground beef. And dude, that made me throw up.
And it didn't even look any different when you threw it up?
Nope, it looked the same.
Looked the same.
It looked the same
going in, looked the same coming out.
Doesn't matter which end it comes out of. It looks the same.
So that was '06, and for me,
06?
Andy, that was, let's see, my daughter was born in March. I must have met you like in about July.
It was about June, July, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got out in, I think I got out in September.
So what I remember is, again, you guys, Roger and yourself were about the next door over to me, but we were in different programs. Meaning, so the way they do
you were in South 1 and we were in South 5, right? No, wait, 1,
all the way around. All the way around. I think you guys were in 5 and I was like in 7 or some shit like that. So the way it works in there were because we were locked down with like the hard ass criminals. Apparently, they were released 4 cells at a time. So every 4 hours, 4 doors would come out. 4 hours later, 4 doors would come out. So I never physically shook Ernie or Roger's hand until, dude, Roger was like maybe 8 months later when he came out. Cause okay, so real quick, what got me to get you on the podcast was a couple of weeks ago. I was cleaning my garage finally, and I was going through all my memorabilia, like Cowboys footballs and hats and everything, and I found a letter that you wrote to me from prison. And
from prison?
From prison? Yeah.
And you still have it?
I told the wife I feel bad throwing it away, so she put it in the file cabinet. And I also
why'd you feel bad though?
I don't know, because it's like it's a remembrance of where we were, dude. It's like a reminder of where we were and where we are now. I mean, I even found some Christmas cards from somebody in there from Santa Paula. I told the wife, well, we might as well put them up with the rest. They've been sitting in a box for like 14 years.
Yeah.
You might as well put them with the rest. And then the prayer cards. So for those of you, obviously they don't know, if you have someone in jail or prison, please write them a letter. You guys have no idea how much of a day it gives that person if they receive a letter.
Yeah, not only for receiving it, but when you get it, it makes you think, okay, that person actually took the time to sit down and write me a letter. And that, to do that now, I mean, come on, it's harder than it sounds.
No, yeah. And so since nobody really wrote to me a lot, I requested those little prayer cards. So every other day in my mail would be like a little prayer card. And I even found those, and I told the wife I feel bad throwing this away. So she put them in, freaking file cabinet, hard times or some shit like that, prison life or some shit.
Yeah.
And she put them away because I told her I felt bad throwing them away. So yeah, that's what reminded me to, let me get Ernie on here. Now, we talked about it in the past, but what really got me to call you was when I found your letter the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, I stay in touch. I've always considered you, an actual friend, not just someone who says they're a friend. So I always kept in touch.
Well, that's another
It was easier to keep. It was easier to keep in touch once we got rid of our dead weight, our baggage.
You said it, cabrón, not me.
Right? Because they tried to be friends. And it was like, hold on. No, we were friends first. You guys tried a little thing, and then when after the epic failure, then me and Andy will remain friends. So.
Yeah, no, I, because back when you're in there, also, your bunkies, like your roommate, aka bunkies, when they leave, they're like, oh yeah, I'll write to you, we'll keep in touch, and la la la, and that's when I learned not to get my hopes up, because that's not, they don't write back. So to me, it was like, hey, no, we'll keep in touch, and I kept on writing to you, and I wrote to Roger a couple times, and then, like I said, when Roger came out, the first thing he did was call me, hey, where you at? And I'm like, well, I'm at home. Blah blah blah. So he came to find me, and like I said, that was the first time. So I met him in June. I didn't physically shake his hand till like March or some shit like that.
Okay.
So same thing goes for you. I think it took about a while before we actually got to see each other in person.
Yeah. Yep.
So those were the bullshit jail days, man.
Yeah.
No. But what do you call it? No, the one thing that Roger and I always talk about was the day that you guys called me to the window, because each door has a little window. I come to the window and you're freaking laying on the ground or laying on the bed, and he's like, Dr. Phil and shit. I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded, dude.
And you know what? The thing was about, I think, me, you, and Roger remaining friends was that, and I know you say friends with a few people that you met in there, but we weren't like, not to put anyone down, man, but we didn't have that same mentality. We didn't want that to be our life. We weren't proud to be there. Yeah, we were making the most of it, imitating Dr. Phil and all that, but it was because we were trying to keep our minds out of that and not stay stuck in there. And I think we all pretty much succeeded after.
We were watching something on TV the other day, and they said, do the time, don't let the time do you. And I was like, that's right. And my wife's like, what? I'm like, that's the one thing I always heard in jail was like, do the time, don't let the time do you. Because, I remember being in there and not knowing my future because I was still fighting my case. There was talk about me possibly going to prison, and I was shitting bricks. I would cry on my bunk every once in a while. And I know Roger makes fun of me because he's like, you were on the phone all the time crying like a little bitch. I'm like, dude, I wasn't crying to say. It wasn't crying.
Hey, just because we all didn't have that pan like Roger had.
Right? So I remember, yeah. And then when it was stressful days, and then when the judge finally tells me, like, I think I like I said in my last episode, just karma, just reading the Bible quote. That's when the judge said, "Okay, you're going home." Once the judge told me that I was going home, dude, the last 30 days were cake. They were like, not one stress.
You didn't care about food. You didn't care about business. No, I'm going home.
No, I'm out. And
how long were you on vacation that time?
Altogether 5 months.
Okay, I was in there for 6 months, and I was actually fighting 9 years, 80%, and there was no sign of hope. My lawyer was telling my significant others that I was gone for 9 years. So, like I said, different times for each of us, but I think really, really big learning experiences. Man, yeah, you're right though. When I went to court that day, I had no idea what was going to happen, and out of nowhere, the judge says, because of the good job you've done in the past, I'm going to give you a break this time. And man, I went home that day, and crazy. The rest of my life, it goes to different couple of places, but that was a very pivotal moment for me where I was like, okay, here's a chance to make something out of nothing, make a positive from a negative, and not let it be a waste of fucking 6 months of my life. So, you know,
You know
that
who?
was my experience at that time.
You know who I also kept in contact with for a long time was Abraham.
Let me guess. Wait. Who?
Oh, I cut you off.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you because I was trying to say. Let me guess. I wouldn't say possum.
No, you know what? I actually think about him every once in a while, and I don't even know how to
And
get a hold of
Petey?
him.
Possum and Petey?
Possum and Petey, that's
Shit,
right.
your best bet is probably calling the California Department of Corrections and asking what his fucking CDC number is and where he's at.
Well, if I knew the real name, bro, all I had was street names.
Oh,
You know?
man.
It's funny, again, I'll probably repeat myself, but it's funny because in there everybody had freaking names like, Possum and Whittier and freaking Wino
Yeah.
and Diablo and
I,
then you
I
go
didn't
to
have one.
you go to sound number 6 or 7 and there's Teddy Bear. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dicks. You
And,
assholes.
and just Ernie, the diabetic.
And an Ernie. Now, it was crazy back then because it was like nobody ever acknowledged me at first because I was just this white guy, this light-skinned Mexican. But then when they realized where I grew up and they're like, oh, shit, you're not one of us, but you're one of us. I'm like, shit, I don't want to have to kill
Yeah.
anyone. I'm not going to kill anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not killing
You're
anyone.
the guy that everybody called as a witness and said, "Hey, you were there. Tell him I didn't do it."
Right.
Because you were always somewhere in the mix, at least.
Yeah. So, but you were in and out a few times, right?
I had my first trip to prison was when I was 19, and then when I met you, I had just in March of 06, I had discharged parole, and then it wasn't but 2 months later that I picked up another case, and that was that case when I met you. So yeah, it was a series of misfortunate events. Just and it wasn't like I was messing up for a while. I just had got caught up in this one time, and it was going to cost me a lot. And it took those 6 months. Like you said, maybe shedding a tear here and there, laughing when you could. But at the end of the day, looking at the situation like, fuck, this shit is real.
Yeah.
And there's no one else can change it but me. I couldn't change yours. You couldn't change Roger's, and Roger couldn't change mine. But, we could at least hang around better people, and try to get our minds right. So.
Yeah.
When I got out of that one, I stayed out. I stayed out for a while. I was out for a while, and then I ended up had another kid. Because when I met you, my daughter she was just born, and she's 14 right now. So that
That's
does the
about
math
the
real
time.
easy,
Yeah.
right?
That's the time. Time frame right there.
Yeah. So then I got out, and 2 years later, had another kid.
Hey.
A one-night stand baby, and that was my second kid. So she's now 12, and now here we are. Fast forward, I just turned 40, and my son was born in March of this year. So, if anything, I'm fertile. listening to what the Lord told us to do. Go forth and spread your seed, and but yeah, I mean, I know that things changed for both of us after that point. And
well, you were in and out. Like I know from time to time after 06 till 2017, you were in and out. Like I would bump into you sometimes, I would talk to you sometimes, and then you would disappear. And then the time that I got the letter, I'm like, oh, that's where he's at.
Oh yeah, so I got out in 06 when I met you, and then in 08 I had one violation. That was it. And then in 2010, and here's the crazy story that people will hear now. So as Andy knows, I'm diabetic. I've been diabetic for 35 years. In 2010, I got into a car accident, and the reason why I left so abruptly was it was a tough time in my life. But I hit a guy on accident, and he ended up passing away. So I didn't get a manslaughter, but I did get 5 years, 80%, and I was on bail for a while. Didn't really call anybody. Just wanted to do me until I went back. And then I went back, and it makes it sound like you're just in and out. But these were lessons that I needed to learn, and I had to be able to see the lesson, and I was able to see it. Like, it was really, really unfortunate that man lost his life, but I made the most of it so that his life wouldn't be a total loss, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, the accident was actually based on how you told mentioned it to me, is like you were making a left turn right as the rig was passing, so you didn't even see what was on the other side of the rig, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah. The truck coming across the intersection was blocking. The guy was on the bike behind him in the crosswalk. So it was just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to call it. It was hard for me though. I ended up leaving the scene of the accident, and for anyone out there who ever gets involved in a car accident and you leave, go back, because I went back to the CHP office 3 days later, and I turned myself in on the accident, and that gave me a break. Instead of getting like more than 12, 13 years, I got the fight with 80, and the hardest part was telling my daughter, my 5-year-old, she was about to be 5, and I had to tell her that I was gone for, was going to be a long time.
Oh man!
But made the most of it. Honestly, made the most of it. Like, just, I don't know, man. I'm a believer. I don't know how much you talk about God on your podcast, but I'm a believer, and I know that He guides whatever it is I'm doing. And if I'm getting put on a timeout for 4 years, it's because the big guy in the sky knows that I needed it. So
Yeah.
whenever I go to stuff, I just look at it like, do I need this lesson? Like, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn? And I really, really look for it. And, so usually from there, it goes pretty well.
Well, when you finally hit me back up, we're talking, I think it was like mid 2017. We were still living in Oxnard, and you hit me up out of the blue.
It was 2016.
That's what happens when I don't change my phone number for like 12, 14 years. Anyways,
Right?
So you hit me up out of the blue, and you needed, I think you needed me to go help you drive you to Ventura to pick up some belongings.
Yes, because I'm going blind for my diabetes, so that's why I don't drive, for all the listeners.
And so but I had seen you prior to that, and I wasn't happy with the person that I saw. That wasn't Ernie. So when you called me that day, my wife, I was like, oh, let me see what's up. And I think I gave you a bogus excuse, and then I got off the phone with you, and then what happened? My wife's like, what happened, babe? I'm like, well, it's my boy Ernie, but I kind of gave her a little background of the jail stuff and everything, and I'm like, well, he needs help to go pick up, but it looks like he's doing bad, and I don't know. And she's like, he's your friend, Andy. Go do it. Go give him a ride. So that day to Ventura, bro, you got to thank the wife for that one, because that was all her. She's go pick up your friend.
Man, she should have told you to feed me at least.
She said, no, yeah, she's the one that told me to go pick you up, to take you. But when I picked you up, homie, I didn't know you lived in Jane Drive, bro.
Bro, I didn't. Me and my ex split up, and the manager of those apartments was a friend from church. And she's like, hey, I got a studio for you. I'm like, cool, music's in my ears. You just got to get down here. I didn't even know that. I had never been on that street. I had literally been like 2 blocks over, but in a nicer part of town, and I had never been in that street. So when I finally made it down there, man, it was an experience. I'll tell you.
When I lived on Jane Drive, we're talking back in like 1997, and it was bad then, and I pulled up to.
Were you in a studio?
No, it was back then I was a kid, obviously, so we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. But
Okay.
but I remember having a friend that lived on that apartment, that studio you had. So I remember being in that apartment multiple times. But what do you call it? So I'm picking you up. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm outside, and literally I'm shitting bricks. Dude, I locked my car. I'm like, I'm gonna get robbed. I'm like, fuck. It got worse and worse. But it's a reminder of where you've been to where you are now.
Yeah.
Jane Drive is not the nicest street. What is it considered? Is it still Oxnard? And then you still have, and then you have the other street on the other side of the little river thing with Cuesta del Mar. It's just as bad.
Yeah.
And we lived on that street at one point as well, and it's a reminder to where you are.
Well,
now.
the week that I moved in, they had a couple of gang members had shot one of the rivals on a bike.
See?
And I rode a bike at the time. So I'm going in and out of the neighborhood, and then my landlord's husband decided to tell me, hey, you don't want to ride out on a bike in this neighborhood. What the? You tell me now? But yeah, it was almost an every night thing where you would hear, gunfire, like not just a couple of shots. You're talking about back and forth, and you get at least one parent that would come out to the neighborhood, and but get all the kids and tell them to go inside. It was just a constant, just gunfire. That dirty South lifestyle, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad back in the day, and I mean, streets only get worse. But again, those streets just remind it whenever we go down to Oxnard and the kids like we're there, and they just want to see the beach, even if it's only for like 5-10 minutes, right? And we drive down J Street before you get to Wanimi, and there's Jane Drive to the right, and there's Cuesta del Mar to the left, and it's like, oh God, I lived here at one point. This is crazy. So
I was only there for 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months, and I was like, that's it. I can't do this no more.
Yeah. So again, I picked you up. We went to go pick up your stuff. I dropped it back off, and then again, I think you kind of disappeared after that. I mean, you gave me an external hard drive and said, "Hey, can I borrow $25 and hold on to this flash drive?" Just to let you know, buddy, the way I see it, you sold me that flash drive, and I use it every day.
Oh yeah, well, that's how that works.
Or I'm sorry, it's an external hard drive. So I made copies of all my photos of my kids onto that other external hard drive. But
well, hey, at least you know that it was a working hard drive, and you'll never forget me. Like you can always thank me for those your disaster kit hard drive over there.
There it is, buddy. There you go.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
I use it, buddy.
Because honestly, until you brought that up right now, I don't recall the hard drive. I wouldn't have remembered. Yeah. I don't remember if I even had to pick anything up in Ventura, or if I was just BSing you to go.
No. I think there was twice where I picked you up. I think one time I picked you up at the Ralph's on what is that? Was that road that takes you to the county house, to the courthouse in Ventura, across you from the Walmart? I think I picked you up from there.
Ralston.
And I think I picked you up from there one time, and then the next.
Oh, you did, yeah.
And then the next time I picked you up from Jane Drive, and then took you to get your stuff or whatever. But yeah, those after the flash drive, the external hard drive thing, and the rides to the thing, you kind of disappeared again. And then the next thing I see, buddy, is holy shit, you're in a relationship and you're doing freaking great, man. Like. And then I think you invited me to a baby shower, and I'm like, wait a minute, Ernie having a kid? I don't believe this.
Yeah,
I don't believe this.
And a lot of the things goes to that's my girlfriend who I got with. I moved out of Jane Drive the end of 16, and me and my lady got together the end of 17.
Okay.
So I still had a little bit of a rough year after that, but it was all with the mind frame of getting out of that lifestyle. So I left Jane Drive. I moved back in with my mom, and then I just really had to get myself by the balls, man, and just once and for all figure out what I wanted, what I didn't want, and then go fucking get it. Yeah. And the diabetes was a big part, but my girlfriend was a huge part. So, but yeah, I ended up, like I said, the baby shower was in March. Been cool ever since. I will say this: I thank God that weed is legal because it's always a help, you know. Definitely 420 friendly. I mean, and that's just, you know, hey, it is what it is, you know. But for the most part, from 06 to now, I've had a lot of shit happen. But right now, what I'm doing, I'm freaking happy, and I'm glad. I would like to talk to Roger and see how he's doing, because I look at you, Andy, happy. All I see is happiness. It doesn't matter if you're doing the same thing as I'm doing. It doesn't matter if you work and I don't. You know, you can see it, I can't. Bottom line is, everybody looks fucking happy. Nobody's in that kind of jail, you know, going through those things anymore. And I mean, I don't know. For me, I've shown myself that I can get more than what I got in the past. Just, you know, making those stupid ass decisions. You know, bottom line.
Actually, that Sunday I flaked on you was because I was actually with Roger. He works for a non-organization or non-profit organization where they they help the homeless with food and stuff. And I think the volunteer kind of flaked on him. So he called me and I didn't want to because it's a Sunday and I just want to stay home. But actually just helping them load and unload pallets from one warehouse to another, knowing that it was a good cause. It felt good, dude.
Yeah.
You know? It felt good.
Yeah,
I missed the Cowboy game, but yeah, I mean, it was good.
But hey, but they won because you didn't watch.
Exactly, they won because I didn't watch. But
Yep.
yeah, he's doing good too, man. He's out. He doesn't live far from here. I mean, he lives in I think Glendora, so he's only like 20 minutes from here. And
I can't believe he has hair.
he has hair, bro.
Yeah, I did it backwards. You guys grow the hair on top, and I started going down my face.
I know. I was gonna ask you about that. What the hell's going on? You know, you trying to compete for Santa Claus's job?
Man, I'm really digging it. One because I can grow a full beard. You know, none of this Apache. You know, filling it in and none of that stuff. But I start to get a little bit of a pride thing with it. Looking at it like, man, this thing's in beast mode.
That thing is
But,
huge.
Yeah,
This
and I
guy.
just trimmed it too.
King guy.
Sometimes I'll be asleep and my freaking hair goes in my freaking. What the hell? Thought it was a spider. Nope. Freaking beard.
Oh man, but yeah, like I said, dude, you look healthy, man. Obviously, one eye is kind of shot out. I can see it from right here.
All the way blind. Yep.
But
Right eye is completely blind. Left eye got 20/60 with blind spots and nerve damage. But I tell you what, your boy right here makes going blind look fucking easy. Sometimes, honestly, Andy, sometimes I tell my lady, do I need to start bumping into walls and shit? Because you motherfuckers right here forget that I'm blind. Like, it's crazy. They just expect me to do things because when you see me in my environment, you would never know that I'm going blind, bro, honestly. I ride a bike. I do a lot of stuff by memory. I memorize steps to my house, 15 steps upstairs. You know, I memorize cracks in the street. All kinds. It's crazy how your mind will, your senses will really adapt. My freaking hearing is off the chain. I hate it, dog. Like, my kids can't stand it.
yeah, well,
I hear everything.
And here I am crying about COVID-19.
Hey, I'm right there with you though, man. Diabetes ain't shit. At least you can see your high blood sugar. With COVID, you can't see nothing.
Yeah, but yeah,
So,
man.
yeah.
Again, like I said, man, you look healthy, man. I'm glad you're off the juice for a long time now, and
Yeah.
let's thank your girlfriend for that. Because, like I said, I feel like she's the one that kind of slapped you in check, man.
Nah, you can thank her, but the credit still goes. Give credit where it's due. It's still me. It's still me. At the end of the day, you know, it's all about making better choices and you know, to get different things, and that's what I saw you do. After you got rid of that dead weight, you freaking just started to flourish and thrive, and it was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, it's all you never really know until someone like changes something that something was actually holding them back, holding
It's
them down.
eliminating that negativity in your life, buddy.
Yeah,
Eliminating that negativity. And you know what? After we're talking now, 10 years of not being with her, we can finally say that we're finally getting along. And you know, if I come back positive with COVID, then it's not going to happen. But if I'm negative with COVID, then my kids' siblings, meaning her kids that are not my kids, will be coming over for the weekend and spending the night here.
ooh,
Yeah. So my buddy Aldo, who years ago told me, no matter how many kids she has, it doesn't matter. You will always be a part of their lives. Because you're never going to tell your own kids no when it involves their siblings. And I even told my wife, damn, he was right. Shit. So he was right. So if my test is negative, I will be having my ex's kids here at the house this weekend.
and how does that make you feel?
When we,
Are you reluctant?
homie, I'm not that educated, bro. You have to specify the definition of that word.
I believe you are, but okay. Are you hesitant? Do you have you have doubts?
No, because meaning with the mother of my kids. I mean, of course, we've been down this road multiple times, and we're hoping that it doesn't go there again. But with the whole backstabbing after it, but no, it seems like she really means it. Like for Christmas Eve, she was gonna have the kids, but she had to work and I had to work, so we just did a gift exchange, and it was and it was supposed to be a 20-minute thing, bro, and the kids were only supposed to exchange gifts with the other kids and 20 minutes and let's go. But I saw the way that my boys interacted with their siblings, where we ended up making that 20 minutes into 2 hours, bro. Where now I have my wife and my baby's mom clowning on me, you know, like what the hell happened here? You know?
Yeah. Be careful with that though. That's like putting gas and fire next to each other. I'm just saying, bro. Like I tried that with I introduced my ex to my lady now, and my sister told me, she's like, "What are you thinking?" I said, "I mean, it's cool, right? Just be cordial." She's like, "That's dangerous." I'm like, "Ah, damn, you're right."
Nah, but it's not like that. They're not exchanging cell phone numbers or anything like that. It was just like we were having a conversation, and conversation lasted 2 hours, and I'm driving home, and my wife's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "You have no idea how much weight is off my shoulders right now. Just pounds of this shit off my shoulders."
Yeah.
And it felt good, dude. It felt good. So, like I said, you eliminate negativity in the past, to get forward, and then everything falls in its place, man. You, again, look healthy, besides the eye situation, but you look healthy. I'm freaking glad that you're not talking to me through a freaking rigged phone under your mattress in jail or prison. Because apparently now we can do that.
A 12. Oh, I was going to tell you that before we get off the subject. At Todd Road, they can do video chat now?
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I never want
visiting because of COVID.
I never want to go there anyways because they took away handball.
Wow.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason why we'll go back to jail, bro, for handball.
You don't gotta go do that. You just go to a handball court.
They took them all down here. They took them all down, bro.
Build your own wall.
That's what I told the wife. We have the yard big enough to build our own handball wall back here.
Yeah. not a wall like Trump's wall, but a wall.
A wall.
But a handball wall.
Like I was saying, bro, again, man, you look healthy. I'm freaking glad that you're off the juice and doing good, and you've been there for your kids now. And like I said, not talking to me through a hijacked phone that you had to confiscate or
not being in custody. Yeah, and I'm in the toilet for privacy reasons, not because I'm in myself.
I see
that. Not because I'm home.
I see that. But I mean, is there any advice or messages that you want to tell people that listen to my podcast before I end it?
For the Flat Tire Andy podcast listeners, man, you're listening to somebody who's been through enough to learn from, and it's not a waste of time to listen to the podcast. You will get something out of it. And for anybody out there that's going through anything, I guess I would just say, man, just don't give up. Don't give up. Get your mind right. And whatever you decide, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it, because for different reasons, me and you are both proof of that. You don't got to stay somewhere. You can always, at any given moment, you can change it for the better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ernie, my boy, like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
Well, thank you for having me, Doug, and thank you for letting me ride with you.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Andy podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.